Alright guys, today we're making simple white bread rolls. Soft, fluffy and perfect for beginners. We've had a look at flour, we've had a look at yeast, so let's make these rolls on our bread basics journey. Only 5 ingredients for this one. We're using plain flour, instant yeast, salt and a 50-50 mix of warm water and warm milk. And to save my wrists, we're doing this in a stand mixer. As always, the full recipe will be at the end of the video, and I'll pop the ingredients on the screen as I use them. I'm using plain flour because I don't want the rolls to be too chewy, is that the right word? I want them a bit more soft and fluffy. This flour has a protein content of about 10.5 grams per 100 or 10.5%, so it's not quite as strong as your normal bread flours. So everything's going straight into the stand mixer bowl. That's 425 grams of plain flour and 7 grams of instant yeast. I'm using instant so I don't have to wait around getting the dried active yeast going or water down the fresh yeast. This is going to be a quick simple recipe, one that you could do every day without even thinking about it. Mix the yeast into the flour and then add 10 grams of fine salt, and once again mix this all in. I don't know why I bother stirring it all together because the stand mixer is going to do this for me anyway. If you want to do this by hand, just repeat this exactly as I've done it, but in a bowl that's not in a stand mixer. Switch your mixer on to slow speed, the slowest setting you can, and slowly pour in the milk and water mix. I used 150 millilitres of each, and I warmed it up in a microwave so it's just about blood temperature, tepid. Not too hot, not too cold. Leave the mixer on slow speed until the milk and water are incorporated into the flour, so the flour is nice and hydrated. Then we can speed things up a little bit. When I say speed things up a bit, just take it up to the next notch. My mixer is a Sage Bakery Boss, great bit of kit actually. The 3 lowest of the 12 speeds are for bread making, so I started off on number 1 and then moved up to number 2. Much higher than that and it's bouncing around the table. It's a bit funny that the mate used to be called Breville, but Breville was associated with cheap and nasty in the UK, so they changed the name to Sage. So elsewhere in the world, it's a Breville Bakery Boss. It starts off very gooey at first, and you think to yourself, oh my word, what have I done here? But after about 8 minutes, it turns into this lovely, cohesive dough. Scrape your hook down and tip the dough out onto a non-floured work surface. Push the dough around a bit and form it into a ball. This forms a nice tight sort of skin on the surface. And this is why we use a non-floured work surface. It makes it a little bit easier to form into a ball. And if you were clever, unlike me, you'd have lightly oiled a bowl beforehand. So all I've done is spray a bit of vegetable oil in the bowl and spread it around with a kitchen tissue. Pop the ball of dough into your bowl, cover it and put it somewhere warm to rise. We want it to double in size, probably take about an hour, hour and a half. Little tip for you, if you don't use cling film or a shower cap to cover the bowl, use a tea towel. If you do use a tea towel, it's a good idea to dampen it a little bit, and this stops a crusty skin forming on the surface of the ball. And this did take an hour for me in my proofing box. I'll put a card to that top right. Okay then, so I'm weighing the rolls now. I want my rolls to be pretty equal in size. Weigh the dough in the bowl. Weigh the bowl. Subtract one from the other and divide by the number of rolls you want to make. So in my case, it's about 75 grams. In hindsight, I should have made bigger rolls. I could have done with making 6 instead of 10. But this did mean that my son could take 4 away with him when he came to visit a few hours later. All's well that ends well. Then it's just a case of divvying up the dough into the number of pieces you want. Next we need to form each piece of dough into a ball. And there's a few ways you could do this. You could treat it like a loaf and stretch and squeeze and pinch the bottom. Or you could form your hand into a cage and roll the ball around in the cage. This is by far the easiest and the quickest method. And once you get good at it, you can do it with 2 hands. And this is another reason we don't flour or oil the work surface. It's so much easier to make the dough stretch a little bit when it's like this. Place the balls onto a parchment lined tray, cover them and leave them for about 40 minutes. You want them to grow in size a little bit. For the observant of you, you'll notice there's only 9 there. I was going to make 10, but I couldn't squeeze the last one onto the tray. And this is a good time to get your oven preheating to 200 Celsius. No need to put these into a warm place for the final proofing. I just left mine on the work surface there. And here they are 45 minutes later. I gave one a quick poke to see if it was okay, and it was. It didn't fight back. Brush them gently with milk. Gently, very gently. You don't want to make them collapse at this stage. And then sprinkle all the balls with a bit of flour. And there we are, off to the oven now for 15 to 20 minutes or until they're nice and golden brown. These took me 20 minutes. Wow. Get the rolls onto a wire rack as quick as you can. You don't want to leave them on the tray, they will get a soggy bottom. You want them to dry properly. And don't forget they're still cooking on the inside at this stage. Well, I guess I better try one of these bad boys, hadn't I? Oh, look at that. Fantastic. Well, guys, you can't beat that, can you? And that's with plain flour. I can feel an egg and bacon roll coming on. You've got to try this one, guys. It's fantastic. And that's it. Easy white bread rolls that anyone can make at home. Look after yourselves, guys. Take care, and I will catch you on that next video.